Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? Who's ready to get back into the hot seat, guys? It's a fast market for me, guys. I'm just in a trade. Oh, there we go. Finally taking some profits there. AIRI. You guys can see it right here. Nice little pattern here. Nice little flagging pattern this morning. And Money Mitch starting it right in the green, baby. Let's go. Let's get it started. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, guys. And guess what? Today, I will let you guys know. We'll go through the sunrise report, but we're going to do it towards the open. Wasn't even able to get that set up there. Was too focused on this big trade here. And it could be an even bigger trade. But as I got to the show, I was like, you know what? Got to go do the sunrise report. Can't be focused on this. So instead of being greedy, trying to make, an extra $100 or $200, I'm just going to take the money and run. Really nice trade to start the day. We'll talk all about it right here. Let's kick it off with today's sunrise report, and then we can see what we got today. All right, team. First up, we're starting off with Snowflake this morning, which reported a second quarter result of surpassing the analyst expectation. After the bell yesterday, the data cloud company posted a revenue of $868.8 million, beating the consensus of $849.7 million. The adjusted earnings per shares came in at 18 cents, also topping the estimates. But where did we see some issues? Because this company definitely took a hit. Snowflake's revenue saw a 29% year-over-year increase, driven by product revenues at $829.3 million, up 30%. The company's net revenue retention rate remained also strong at 127. I mean, retention above 100 is just ridiculous, right? But with 510 customers generating a 1 million in a trailing 12-month product revenue, Snowflake CEO Sahar Ramadwamy highlighted the company's progress in AI innovations and its potential to deliver greater values moving forward. The company did authorize an additional $2.5 billion for share repurchase program, which of course will help that company continue to try to lift it, but it's taking a big hit here. They did end the quarter with nearly $500 million remaining in buybacks, so they could try to use that. Snowflake does, though, expect Q3 product revenues between the range of $850 million and $855 million, up 22% year over year. They raised their full year product revenue forecast, but things are not looking that great this morning. Let's get to the second one here. We talk a little bit about Peloton. Yeah, I'm talking Peloton, guys. Of course, we all know how Peloton was a favorite for a long time during the pandemic. And then, of course, it lost its touch. And a lot of that was the focus on growth. Now they've been focusing on profits, right? So it's making headlines, yet making a significant step forward. The connected fitness company reporting slight sales increase of 0.2 in the fiscal fourth quarter, marking its first year-over-year revenue growth in 9 quarters. This comes at a time when the company is focusing on profitability over growth and cutting on marketing and sales spending. Peloton did deliver better than expected results, posting a loss of 8 cents per share compared to the anticipated estimate of a loss of 17 cents per share. Revenues at $644 million, beating the $631 million estimate. The shares were rising 11% in the pre-market trading as the market responded positively to the company's narrowing loss and improved cash flow. The company is now shifting, of course, towards profitability, and that's going to be the focus moving forward. So the significant change in its early growth-driven strategy is helping Peloton change things. Of course, that new CEO probably smiling this morning as they're finally starting to turn the boat there at Peloton. We'll see what happens with that one. Let's go to the next one here as we talk a little bit about Urban Outfitters, right? Urban also released earnings that easily topped the expectations. EPS at $1.24 versus the dollar estimate. So, however, shares did go down after the company same store sales figures disappointed here. So Urban brand seeing a 9.3% decline in sales of stores opened at least a year. This is not what you want to see, and also shows more and more the consumer slowdown. Yet, of course, majority of the retail sales and the numbers that we saw just aren't showing it yet. We'll see when it finally shows up in the data, but this marks the 9 consecutive quarters of decline for the brand and compounding its struggles over the past 2 years. Really, the reason why this stock has been going up is all the sympathy off of course, Abercrombie and Fitch. We'll see what happens with Urban now. Will it take another step down? Hey, we'll watch it towards the open. Let's get to the next one here as we talk a little bit about Advanced Auto Parts. And you guys know how I hate this stock, guys. I just hate the way it performs compared to O'Reilly's and compared to, AutoZone. AutoZone and O'Reilly's have been amazing investments, while Advanced Auto Parts has been the complete opposite here. They reported a mixed Q2. EPS at 75 cents, missing the $1.07 estimate, despite slightly beating on revenue. The company lowered its fiscal year outlook, now expecting EPS for $2 and $2.50, down from its prior range at $3.75 and $4.25. These are the kind of situations that clearly point to me that the fundamentals aren't correct here for the company. And it seems to me like something needs to happen on this board or something needs to change because they just can't compete with the favorites, of course, AutoZone and O'Reilly. Of course, this led to a dip in the shares. The lower guidance reflects the ongoing challenges in the auto parts sector. But of course, hey, I never see O'Reilly and AutoZone really struggling. They pull back and they get the lift again. Let's go to the last one here on the shoes with holes. Well, let's see if the investment thesis has some holes in it. We'll talk a little bit about here. Crocs. Yes, Crocs, guys. All right, so quick update here. Crocs seeing a nice little up move here off of an upgrade. And this is an upgrade to buy from hold. And it's from Williams Trading. The firm pointed to Crocs' strategic move to sign actress Sydney Sweeney as a spokesperson for its Hey Dude brand, a decision they believed could reverse the negative sales trends at Crocs. So we'll see if this investment thesis still has some holes in it. Crocs, of course, you guys know how I feel about them. I don't think I could wear shoes with holes in it, but hey, to each his own. A lot of people love them, and the stock was rising a lot in 2023, has struggled in 24, but we'll see if they're able to get the bounce. So that's all for today's Sunrise Report. Thanks for joining me. Like always, stay tuned for more market insights. I'm Money Mitch, and I will keep you guys informed right here on Trade the Pool. It's time to get to the trading action, and if I look back, I'm kind of glad I took those profits. We'll talk a little bit about my trade. Let's go take a look at the action and see what we got today. You guys know what time it is. It's time to start that countdown and get ready for the live trading action.
Wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money. It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What up out there, traders? What's going on? How we doing out there? Who's ready to get things started? You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, and I'm excited to start the day. Yesterday, a little bit of a tough day, was battling back and forth, got to the point where I was down $50, then eventually lost on JP Morgan on a short, was able to make a good trade on the Vixie, but didn't get the continued breakdown in the financials, thus getting a loss around the 200 range. So it's been a battle of a day, a battle of a week, right? Monday down about 100 something, Tuesday up over 500, close to 600, then taking a step back with the 200. So we're in the 300 range now, trying to really boost things up, get to another 1,000 goal, and just keep that rolling, right? Eventually, we're going to take a step up and actually go for the 2K goal. That's going to be next week. But for right now, keeping it simple, guys. Let's go take a look at what I did today. All right, well, starting it off, guys, not a bad trade here, guys. Let's take a look at the action. I was trading Ari, And this was an interesting name, right? As it was moving back and forth. And that could have held some of the shares here. But whenever I go towards the show, I hate not being able to look at my positions, especially when they're bigger in the day trade size, right? So here you guys see Ari. It was making a big boost right out the gates. It got all the way up there to 678. And I thought it could go back there, right? I'm not saying that it couldn't go back there. But at the end of the day, especially in the pre-market, there's certain times where I feel like I got to take the profits. You guys can see the action here. I started it up there towards 510s. I added at 535. Then I started to see the stock kind of make a breakout, and this was the bad buy. This would be the buy that I think I jumped up a little bit too fast, trying to jump and get the big breakout. Then I was kind of stuck in between. It was moving back and forth between the $5 and the 530s, and you would get up to 550s, but you just couldn't break the 550s. Eventually, finally, we did go through that 550s and started to hold on the 15-minute. Once I started to see this hold of this candle, as long as we were just going to hold above the VWAP, I was going to try to stay in it. Then we started to break above this 550s. That's really where the move really comes in. And now we could see continued upside move in this. I'm watching it right now, and you guys can see it starting to pull back to the 560s, but it's holding the 9 EMA right now on the pullback. So that's not a bad area to look at. But I said, you know what? Stop being greedy, Mitch. It did go above the 610 and up to 615. I only saw the bid at 610. And then finally I got the bid to go towards 603 right before the show started. And I said, you know what, guys, I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to put 603, see if I can get hit, see if I can just take the money and running, and not a bad way to start the day, right? A nice little cushion, 274, pretty much 275, right? To start the day. That's a nice little cushion. Now I can feel confident going into the day that I have a cushion to play with. Let's go have some fun. Let's see what we can come up with today and see if maybe we can have ourselves maybe even potentially $1,000 day. Let's go. Let's get after it, traders. It's good to see you guys in the chat. Say hello if you're new to the show or for some reason just tuning in for the first time. I always love to see some new members out there. So say what's going on, guys. What are you looking at this morning? And let's take a look. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, guys. Let's get it started, guys. It's another beautiful day here, and we'll take a look at the market action. And let's go to some of the sunrise report, right? I wasn't able to cover it this morning, but that doesn't mean that we won't get to the action. Let's take a look at what's on today's sunrise. All right, on the playbook, guys. So on the playbook, I'm going to be continuing to watch to see if I get XLF kind of continued downside momentum. Yesterday, we pulled back. We got down there towards 43.60s, but didn't continue the breakdown. We actually bounced back towards the close and started making our way back. So now looking to see if we reject the move above towards 44 and take the next leg lower. It's stocks like Goldman sucks, right? Well, that's how I made my money this week. A big trade on Goldman Sachs. And yesterday, it kind of went sideways. It didn't really pop back. JPM was the one that gave me the loss as this started to climb back. And I was looking good for a second there. I was just looking for a move back towards the 213. A move towards the 213 would have gave me a nice $300, $400 winner. Eventually, I lost like 170 on this, bringing me closer towards the 220s, right? And I was down 50 before that. So JPM definitely going to be one on the watch, but the cheaper ones and the ones that are really going to take the hit in the long run are stocks like this, like Citi. I don't feel that Citi has any business being up there. If you guys remember me calling the short from 66. So another one here, Wells Fargo or Wells Fargo, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's far low, and I think it's going to come right back down through the 55. So I'll be watching that to see if it struggles today. You can see how this one bounced back, but nowhere near like the other ones, right? So maybe look for an attempted move to 56 to fail. We'll see what happens in XLF if this goes to the 44s and starts to cut back down through the 43.75. All right, we'll see what happens on that. That's the XLF, and let's go to Alcoa. As I'm taking a look at aluminum today, of course, we know how basic materials have been moving. They've been moving pretty significantly back to the upside on the dailies. And of course, a lot of this has been run by what? It's been run by gold and silver, right? Not making bad moves lately. So now I'm taking a look to see if maybe aluminum can play catch up, right? And start making a move to the upside. We'll see what happens here. We'll continue to watch Alcoa and CENX. So Alcoa, the big level for me to watch is a push above the 34s. So setting that alert there. And I've been using more of the alerts also right there on the Trade the Pool platform. So if you guys aren't using those alerts, I would definitely recommend you start to create those, because it's actually a really interesting way to kind of catch moves. And you guys saw that yesterday, that you can actually set orders to buy off of that. I'm actually going to be starting to use that more often, in especially situations where I definitely want to get in a name for a breakout opportunity, right? Maybe it's just a small amount of share size that I'm taking on that alert. Maybe it's 50 shares and then looking to buy 200 on the pullback or 300 on the pullback. But at least it could give me that first entry so I don't miss that spike and I don't just miss the stock. Because sometimes I look back at a stock that I'm clearly calling a level, like $5 is that breakout level. Look for that. And then it goes to $5, but by the time I look at the name, it's at $5.50, $5.70. So the truth is, I wouldn't mind getting some at $5, looking for a pullback towards like $5.25, and then jumping on it, right? Well, we'll see what happens here, guys, if we can get Alcoa to run through the 34s. And the last one here, of course, Success. The socks are out. Yes, 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 guys. Be careful out there. Will we get some socks action? Let's go, guys. Get those socks in the sky, and we'll be watching to see what happens to the market today. Yesterday, I did see a little bit of leak, and yesterday we started to push up and then came back. It was just kind of a mixed noise kind of day. Now I'm questioning, will we get some downside before we get towards the weekend, right? As investors will be watching to see if they want to hold stocks throughout the weekend. We'll see what happens here, guys. It's been pretty rosy. So let's see if things change, right? 8 out of 9 days in the green. Let's see if we get another day in the red. We'll find out today, guys. All right, we'll be watching Success. For me, Success, I'll be looking for what I call the undercut and rally. Why? Because I could see this stock kind of setting up for an inverse head and shoulders pattern, right? And so in my eyes, this is the inverse head and shoulders. You're looking for a right shoulder here. You got the head here, left shoulder. So definitely not down there towards 18. Would like to see these lows hold 1950s and 1960s, somewhere in that range, right? So maybe we're going down here and pulling this towards 1960s versus 1970s and looking for an undercut and rally towards the 1960s. So a start move to the upside, and then it starts to collapse. That's what I'll be watching for. Of course, a big part of this is looking at the overall market and that we're getting closer and closer to these highs. And I think this is an important level to be watching in the market today. If it can get to that spot, that's where I can see us running into kind of some kind of resistance. So maybe a blow off top today through 564 is the level to watch for. 564.20s, right? Will we get through these levels and start to push through that? I think we get through it, and then we look for the turnaround. We'll see what happens there in the SPY. All right, guys, smash the like out there, guys. What's going on, traders? What do you guys like? It's good to catch you guys. Trader Prad, what's up, man? Watching Money Mitch while you shower? That's interesting there, Trader Prad. Goldman sucks. Oh, man, you weren't here for my Goldman short earlier in the week, man. You would have been enjoying it. All right, what's up, potato? Hot potato, man. We got to trade these bad boys. Good morning. Did you ever trade the VIX? Yeah, I did. I traded the Vixie yesterday. I traded the Vixie. So Vixie, of course, was a trade that I did yesterday. Was able to get this in the 1160 and then sell it towards the 1180s. I actually sold it towards 1186. So it was a really good sell on the Vixie yesterday. I had 1,000 shares. So when I trade the Vixie, I try to go big and fast and kind of go into more of a scalp opportunity. And I did get the scalp. That put me down 50. Maybe I should have just continued to watch, just take another trade or just take the minus 50 day. But JPM caught me a little later. It happens. Eric, good to see you, my friend. You are considered my Mara guy, right? And one thing I was talking about yesterday was that I could start seeing the crypto miners get a lift, right? And I've been waiting and trying to get that play. And yesterday was able to play Clean Spark, but just not able to get the big run. Then as I started to wrap up the day, I was like, man, little part of me just wants to grab a piece of Clean Spark for the swing trade. But of course, I was seeing downside action in the market, and I was a little concerned about that. And I said, you know what? Let's go take a look at the action. Well, I look at the action a little bit later in the day, and look how Clean Spark just took off that 11. It came back down there towards the 1136. This is what, got me off of it. But in the afternoon, around 2, boom, this picked up and went all the way to 1240s, an 8% run there from the lows. And now it's starting to get back up there. It's starting to look like it could take 13s and really start to make a push right back up. So I'll be watching Clean Spark today. I'll be watching Mara. I'll be watching Riot. I don't want to really trade Mara because they got that shelf, and I think at some point they do the offering and they just knock it on you. But you can trade the other ones, right? Hut, Hive. There's so many of these that we can maybe try to get after. And I'm not looking for a big run. It's not a swing trade alert. It's more of a day trade alert to try to ride the momentum higher. Top of the morning to you guys out there. Stay calm or stay calm. I like it. What's up out there? Off Mara till the price goes back up. I mean, it seems interesting right now. I'd be taking a look at Bitcoin's price too, because that's really what it's going to depend on, man. Back into 60,000 though. That's not a bad outlook. You did make a run there towards like 61.4s, but I'd continue to watch this. I think you could get a big breakout there in Bitcoin. And if you get the big breakout, guess what? You want it early, at least in my eyes, because the truth is Mara and Clean Spark have a tendency of just blowing away from the price action. And then it's so hard to get it on the pullback. So we'll see what happens, Eric. I wish you the best, like always. And like I mentioned, Mara is really not the one that I'd be looking at. I'd be looking at different ones because of the shelf offering. But of course, there's other ones that probably have a shelf also. So just take a look out there. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's the cryptos names, and we can go to different names out there. We can take a look at stocks that you guys are watching. We could also take a look at the disaster in AAP and Snow. Look at AAP, man. Good Lord, this stock, guys. They just don't like this stock at all. Look at the history on this stock. Look at the weekly. This stock was up there to 220s, and now it's going back here towards like 2010, 2009 pricing. I'll tell you one thing. If I was a advanced auto parts worker and I bought stock all throughout this, I was expecting to see this like AZO. But that's not what you're getting. And that's a really upsetting turn of events. Let's just say that much. Look at O'Reilly's. Guys, advanced auto parts is not the place to be. That just seems like what it is, man. It's just the place that is the worst of the three, right? And so if it's the worst, why would I even want to be in it? We'll see what happens there. Advanced auto parts on the struggles, man. That's a tough one. Let's go to Snow. Snow down there towards 121. We'll look to see if this turns around on the day. Definitely taking a shellacking back down to 121. And a lot of traders were looking for this. So now that Snow takes a hit, be careful because you could see CrowdStrike take another hit. Right? It's worked back to this green line, and that actually scares me because that's the line that I drew to see this start to work its way back up towards the upside. Now you've climbed all the way back that to me looks like it wants to just now start to reject that line. So we'll be watching to see if you reject that line, reject around the 282 and start working back on CrowdStrike. PanW, of course, had their earnings. That was actually pretty good. That looks strong right now, but could take a pullback to 350 today. We'll wait and find out. All right, guys, we'll be watching different stocks today. I'll be watching the industrials as they continued higher. I'm really taking a close eye on Deere. Deere is just on the setup, but hasn't made the breakout. So the Deere daily chart just going sideways here off the 370s. If Deere could make that run to 400, you guys know how I feel about Cat and Caterpillar. But we'll wait and find out to see what happens to these stocks. Let's go to the small names, the penny boys. Let me know, guys, what you guys want to talk about. If not, I'll just draw from the Gapper scan. The first one I saw in the morning was Staff, and I was seeing it in the morning, and it wasn't a bad looking chart. It was one of those that I'm like, man, I wish I'd been on the computer at 6:30 today. I was a little bit later, and so 6:30 right here, it starts the drive. It goes there towards 370s, pulls back, couldn't get through the 4 spot, so that's one thing to look at. But you got this cup and handle that's been forming for a while. The fun part about this one is that in my eyes, it shouldn't break this 287 anymore. And you just got to dip into the 290s. So, hey, now does it get the run here towards, let's say, 350s, 375s, and 4s? The potential's there for Staff. And one of the things about Staff and Staff 360 is that this is a staff outsourcing service. It doesn't move too often, but it did get a decent amount of volume this morning. So we'll see what happens there. If it cuts down through the 287s, the next spot could be 260s, and that's really when I wouldn't like it. It could work its way back down to $1. Don't forget, this stock was trading at 120s just a little bit ago. So could it go back towards $1? Yes, it could. All right, let's keep it going. Let's take a look at GDC this morning. GDC making a big push, and this was around 450s when I saw it. And then it started to make the move, started to push there towards the 7, has continued. But one thing I can clearly see, and you guys see it right here, 1, 2, 3, and then now 4. Sorry about that. I drew a vertical line, but 3 and then now 4. So 4 moves into this tells me that it doesn't have much more to go. And I know that a lot of traders might not feel that way, but to me, up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2. You might get one more push towards the 750s, 725s. But if that fails, I'll be looking to short this bad boy, especially towards like the 730s. And then you start to drop back through 7. That's kind of the outlook that I'd be looking at. Right now, I wouldn't go shorting it because, you still haven't gotten that last third attempt to break out. So I'd be looking for that third attempt to fail, then look for the breakdown. Right now, it could still recover 7, make that push to 725. We'll wait and find out. All right, guys, smash the like. It's been another beautiful morning to start it off, and you just got to keep getting after it, man. The pre-market trading sometimes isn't the easiest, but I have been making some really good gains to the point where I've thought about maybe opening an account and just trading pre-market. That would be a little bit difficult, but it's something to think about, right? There's always different strategies that we can try to see if it gets us to the promised land, which is, of course, getting that funded account. Pinkies up, baby. Let's get it. All right, looking all around, guys. Let's go take a look at some of the other smaller gappers there. MOBX is another one, down to 137. This was making pops early in the hour after hours yesterday, but has really pulled back. So it's not a bad one to look for, like a decent risk to return, because the return is so much for a short risk, but nothing that I like right now. Ari, of course, you guys seen that one, guys, and it's back down to 554s. This was a tough play for me today. For me to get a great win on this, it just makes me feel really good on the execution side. Because imagine if I didn't take the profits there at the $6 pop. If I didn't take the profits there at the $6 pop, I'd actually got this down back towards 530. I was at 520s, but still, I wouldn't be feeling too confident that I didn't take the money and run in AIRI. And this doesn't mean that I don't have to trade it during the open. I could still trade it, but had to take the money there. Healthcare names have been doing pretty decent. Financial services, you guys can see that. So I'm looking right now to see where we could get some continued drive. Restaurants were an area that was definitely doing well earlier in the week. Let's take a look at that. We were looking at some restaurants to see how they would perform. I did hear mentions of Mickey D's and Solana. So Mickey D's might be getting the down hit on that. I saw they got hacked or something. They're doing well right now, but man, that just blows there. You're getting hacked on your Instagram. McDonald's, we'll see what happens. Can it get there towards 300? That just tells me more and more. Remember, I talked about it. Would you get your cake with it too? Well, Cheesecake Factory's been going up since Monday. That's when we started taking a look at that. And that was all based on the Starbucks changing things here in the restaurants. So DPZ was another one that I looked at, and I was wondering, would this one get going? That hasn't gotten going there. Let's take a look at Wing. What about the Wingstop? Wingstop going to make the move? What about Shack? Shake Shack. That's actually doing pretty well. That caught some bid there at the 104s. The one that's had the actual big move here too, I saw Chipotle moving yesterday. Let's take a look at that one. Nice little pop back towards 53.90s. A lot of bottoming action on this one. I think this is one to keep on watch because Chipotle had done such a great trend in investments for so long. Of course, they did their stock split, and that's kind of changed things up. But at some point, I expect this to continue the trend that it always does. So it has done V bottoms before in the past. So that's another thing to think about. So the way that I compare this price action is the way I would compare it when it was here. When it did this decline, and then you got this sideways pattern here on the weekly around the 27 and 26, and then things started to just spike back towards the prior resistance. So if I look at it right now, that's the same way I feel like it, right? It's gone sideways here between the 54s and the 50s and could break out right back through going towards the 56 and going higher. So we'll see what happens here in Chipotle. It's not a bad one to watch. Of course, you'd want to be a buyer in the perfect pricing towards 50 and then maybe adding on the breakout towards 56. That's one thing to look at. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Love the hat. Where can I get one? Trade the pool. Yeah, I know, man. I've been telling them the same thing. We're opening the store really soon. We have different designs that we've been kind of working on. We also got like a little bit of some coffee mugs and a shirt that I rock sometimes. But yeah, man, this hat is fresh. I keep it on my desk all day long. It's actually pretty fresh, man. I wouldn't mind getting a couple ones of these, even like a blue one. But this one's like kind of black. But hey, it's not a bad looking hat, man. Trade the pool. I'll tell you what, as soon as we open that store myself, I'm going to try to get some kind of nice swag that I can do a nice little giveaway. Of course, look forward towards that. I know you're on Facebook right now, and we don't get too many mentions from Facebook, so it's good to see you out there. Definitely smash the like and keep watching the show. I promise we'll be doing a little bit of a giveaway of our swag and also letting you guys know how you guys can get the swag in the store. We'll keep getting after it, guys. Wingstop and Victoria's Secret submerge. That would be an interesting one there, that's for sure. It's crazy, though. Victoria's Secret isn't what it used to be, though, right? I mean, I remember that was like the top of the top, cream of the crop, but it's just not what it used to be. But I'll tell you one thing. Watch out, guys, because this thing is just hanging out there by a thread. I'm wondering if it's time to go shorting it. I'll tell you one thing. When we finally get a kind of big red day, this will be a look to see it come right back down and fill that gap. We'll see what happens there. GPS, how's that doing? Hanging out over there, the 24s. Was taking a look at some apparel stores to see how they would move. A&F has been climbing back. Let's take a look at Best Buy. Of course, Best Buy, I was watching it just earlier this week to see if it pop above the 85. Now it's towards 87.35s. I had 100 shares at 85, so definitely a bad sell on this one. I remember I was trying to get Planet Labs, and I actually made a nice gain on Planet Labs. Not as big as of a gain as I wanted it to be. I took the money and ran yesterday in the swing account. I'll continue to watch Planet Labs to see if it breaks 3, but definitely wish I had the Best Buy, right? Because it's on the right direction. It's a nice trend line. I can look to see if it continues going to the 90, and keep your eyes on this one. Specialty retail has been a good area as of late, and that could continue with Amazon, right? Amazon's been trying to get right back up and fill the gap. It's almost there, guys. It's crazy that this gap is getting filled. We started drawing this on the 15th. The 15th was right here. So right here on this day, we started drawing it, right? So the 15th was not a bad day there. We started to climb back, and we slowly worked our way to climb that shadow fill. And I think today you might get that towards the 184s, but then be careful because I'm talking about it. We could get a wicked turnaround today. We'll wait and find out. All right, guys, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Looking for a move down. Palantir this morning. We'll see what happens. How is Palantir doing? Man, I remember I had this thing at 24s. Where's it at? Where's it at now? 32, 30.69. Man, what a breakout on this bad boy. Just be careful out there, man, with this one, because this is known to be kind of an AI play. And a little part of me is like, man, should have held it. I sold it at 28. I can't really be mad. I should have just rebought it at 24. But 32.70s, this thing could keep running. I know that you're looking for a turnaround, and I can't blame you for that, but I could see this thing eventually even breaking through the highs. This has AI written all over it and could keep getting the love. We'll see what happens there in Palantir. Definitely it's going sideways, so it could pull back to the 9 EMA. That's kind of the pullback that I see right now, which is a 31.44. You're at 32.70s. I think you need to see a down day, but Palantir, not a bad one. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get it going. Make damn sure you get the 4XL shirts. I got you, William. I got you, man. 4XL for my boy. I'll make sure they make them big enough. Get that big and tall. All right, here we got a list here from Par. Let's take a look there. Some names here that we can take a look at for sure. Estee Slaughter, of course, we know how they perform. They definitely warned, and they're actually going up on this. So that's one thing to look at. Of course, we talked about Ulta and how that could continue going to the upside. So keep your eyes on that one. Elf has been riding that momentum back up. So Ulta gets a bet from Warren Buffett. Well, Ulta is affecting different stocks. Lulu was one that I was thinking it'd affect. And look at that. Gap filled, guys. So I was looking at Lulu back at like 255s. And look at that one. Nice move back up towards the upside, towards the 270s. This could keep running, and I think we keep watch to see what happens there with Ross Stores and TJX. That will be good. One good sign. Burlington is continuing to rip higher. I have no idea because I would never shop at a Burlington, but hey, to each his own, man. And we'll see if that can continue to run. I don't get in front of this thing because, man, it's just crazy for Burlington to move like that. But then again, look at Dillard's. I've always wondered if at one day this stock is going to actually break down. It's been breaking down the last couple of weeks. Is now the time to short Dillard's? I don't know, man. Who goes to Dillard's, man? Maybe somebody's grandma, but that's about it. All right, let's keep going, guys. What's up out there, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Looking at Siri, Warren buying it up. Oh, no, man. I could not look at Siri with a 10-foot pole, man. Siri is just so thick. The spread on Siri is like some ridiculous amount, guys. So I don't mess with Siri at all. I don't even like to trade it. It does move, but it's like such a small little move that there's no point for me to even pay attention to this one. We'll see what else is out there, guys. Looking around to see what's trading. I see Staff at $3 now, holding in. Remember, I talked about how that 280s, 287 is an important outlook. It's been holding it right now, and it's been kind of just sideways off of it. So looking to see what happens here right before the bell. It's 9:18, guys. Got a nice little cushion, 274. Ready to keep it going, guys. Ready to get after it. If you guys got a big stock or maybe a small one that you guys want to take a look at, throw it up in the chat. I'll catch it. TQQQ above the 73s. Not a bad one to look at the gates. I think at the gates, we could still just grind higher. Look at this. It's grinding higher. Doesn't mean we're going to turn around anytime soon. So we'll be watching it there, guys. Like I've talked about it, I need to see some quick downside. First, I'm looking to see it get towards those resistance, hit those resistance, see some move slightly above the resistance, and then big orders with a whack down. That's what I'll be looking for. Urban, of course, we could take a look how that stock's performing. That's getting hit this morning, continuing down to the 35. Did Macy's hit the 15 yet? Ooh, 15.50 and starting to decline here. On a nice red day today, yeah, I could see Macy's going through the 15 and then maybe even going lower. Maybe right back down to 12, 11. Not a bad one to think about for a swing trade. Of course, it doesn't look like it has the biggest potential, but that's when it makes a big red candle and you're down to 14. So I'll be watching this for the swing trade action. I actually really like this stock. I like the hourly, especially a rejection of like 1580s or like 16. So go to 1578 or like the 16. make a move like you want to start to break up to the upside, actually, and then I can just hammer it right back down through the 15. Won't mind this at all, guys. I'm actually going to set an alert to let me know, because if it starts to make the move, I want to be alerted to that and hammer down on the swing trade. So I will set an alert there for a 1580s. If it goes to 1580s, yell at me, because I'm ready to short Macy's. All right, let's keep going, guys. What else is out there? Damn, all my long watches running already. I hate when that happens, man. That's why I try to get in sometimes pre-market. That's how it happens a lot. And then it feels like you're chasing, right? It feels like those moves are already way too far from you, and it's really hard to get after it. I know you had Tesla on that. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla towards 224s, trying to reclimb that trend line, right? We've talked about it. Would it hold that pullback to 220s yesterday? It held it. So the trend line holding well right now on Tesla. That's what I'd be watching, traders. The next move up on Tesla is through 232, going towards 240s. And then you got this little gap towards 247. You could get that break. Like, if you just get the continued upside, market doesn't turn around, that is the potential move there for Tesla to work back towards the 250s. We'll see what happens there in Tesla today. It's not a bad one on watch right now. And of course, could continue the move out the gates here, make a quick move, and then see if you get a turnaround. All right, let's keep it going, traders. Let's go. We're almost to the bell here. Let's go, guys. All right, let's see what we can come up with. I'm looking around to see what's showing up on maybe the gapper scanners, or also here some of the volume, right? And I also like to look at what's getting hit the most on the downside. Look at Charles Schwab just taking a hit here today. Charles Schwab down big here, down towards 6150s. They do not like this stock at all, guys. It is coming back here today, but I feel like this is a short opportunity. We'll continue to watch this thing, but I think it could make like a little bit of a run and then get a smackdown. So sometimes what I look at for is kind of that 50% retracement of the first move. So the first move was a down move there, and then can look to see if it rejects around the $63.18, $63, and then see this gets hit again. Charles Schwab, I'll tell you what, a lot of people sometimes, and it happens, we're going to get some complaints on Trade the Pool, right, about how the platform works or something like that. But I'll tell you one thing, there's nowhere near the complaints that I hear about Charles Schwab or think of, or the other brokers out there, right? I've seen so many struggles, even in Robinhood, right? There's so many struggles out there with different exchanges and struggling. I saw people were locked out of Charles Schwab. I like how this one guy said, this is just the third time, in the last 3 months that I can't trade. Well, that won't happen, right? And that's what it's all about, guys. Keep going after it, guys. Like always, we're going to run into a little bit of some issues, but like always, what you want to do is make sure that everything's working right and continuing to get through it, right? There's always hurdles, but hey, even Charles Schwab on the struggle right now. Snow, of course, showing up there. I see BBAI. Of course, you guys know I was trying to trade BBAI yesterday, trying to get the breakout through 2. This did not make any breakout attempt and just didn't go anywhere, right? And so not a bad one there, but something to watch maybe for today. I don't like it at all. Sound is one that did well, and I was looking for this to break 5. Watching it. Yesterday, it broke 5. I should have been able to rebuy that 5 pullback. And so you did get a pullback to 506, not all the way to 5, right? So now you made a move and you broke out to 550s. This could continue to run today. It's at 540s. This is one that has a nice daily chart and it's a small cap. That just is what it is, guys. There's very rare ones that are going sideways like this. What do you see a lot of the times? Just pumps and dumps, right? Well, that's not what you're getting here in SoundHound AI. And it's an AI name, has a daily chart that could make a run there to 639 and 650s. So I'd keep this one on the radar, that's for sure. All right, let's keep going, guys. Schwab is rubbish, and I agree, man. I agree. Let's see what else is out there. Macy's lost my business when I got married. No need for perfume. Yeah. Macy's will definitely get you with those perfumes. BENF, Steph, getting after it. Let's see it. I know that's a smaller name one. Let's take a look at that one. It's an asset management company. Let's take a look at it. The action this morning. This was this is the one that was moving in the after hours yesterday. Oh, actually, it was in the pre. Yeah, this was actually moving at 5 a.m. and it just moved all the way back down. What I like about it is that you're getting the nice sideways on the hourly. Just make sure that it can hold those hourly lows. Hourly low around the 242 is something that I'd be watching for that to make sure it holds. Or, I mean, maybe putting an alert, right? So this is the type of stock that, yeah, I don't really care for it too much at 260. But get back to $3, and yeah, I'd be all over this bad boy looking for the run to 4, right? At that point, you're only risking 50 cents for the run to 4, right? And that's not a bad outlook. That's a nice 2-to-1 outlook. So BENF could be one that I could set an alert, right? I can just set an alert buy for the $3 spot, and versus trying to play it within this kind of range. But to each his own, guys. You guys can see also the MACD here needs to cross over, needs to get over the 0 line, which is right above it. It's at minus 0.5. So you want to see that cross over and really show you that, to show conviction that it's really running. And that would be the conviction to maybe add if it starts to really break out towards 3. All right, that's not a bad one to watch. Good mention there, Steph. Like you bringing it up. Adding Urban to the list. Yeah, add Urban to the list. We'll see what happens out there. Crap happens. Schwab's new system blows. Yes, I agree. And you guys know, right? Schwab and Thinkorswim pretty much running off the same servers. So you know what they call those? Or at least I like to call it. It's not TOS, it's PO. You know it, right? All right, guys, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there, guys. Take a look into the stock market today. Nvidia up to 130. Apple is one that I'm looking to see if we finally get towards that new high and start to just continue to push. Next push could be a little bit of a gap push here towards the 233s. So that's what I see available for Apple today. And out the gates, guys, I think that the Qs is going to get an opportunity to get a nice little run there. So keep your eyes to see what stocks move or perform there. Let's take a look at my scanners a little bit more to see what's moving up from the change of the close. So I'm just looking around to trying to find some big movers, especially the bigger names, right? Those are the ones that I want to definitely catch here. AVGO up big here. Let's take a look at that. AVGO is up 3% from the close, and this has a really nice chart now. Look at this nice little recovery. It's recovered that move here, and it did go through that split kind of struggle. It's back to the split price and could start to see a lift. We'll see what happens here in the pre-market, getting a big push here towards the 171. That's a little bit too big of a push there for me, but hey, not a bad one to keep a watch on, and some of the other ones making a move also. So looking around, what else is making a move there? I see Boots. I see Allegiant as being one of the names out there. That's A, right? Allegiant. Technologies. This is a technologies company that started to get a nice little lift here, trying to get through the 146 spot. The daily chart has a nice gap to fill. I think it's already filled that gap though. And with that mentioned, maybe you get the second gap to fill towards the 148, but I don't see too much more on this. We'll see what happens there. It's a diagnostics and research stock. You could also take a look at Thermo Fisher or DHR to kind of keep an eye on it. News on BenF. I can take a look there to see if there's any news. Let's go ahead. Let's do that. I have always available to me Benzinga Pro, so let's go ahead. Let's just bring it up. One part is I have it with a button. Boop. Just press that and get Benzinga Pro open. Let's go. Let's take a look here. Let's see what we can find. All right, let's go. Let's see it here, guys. So here you guys see the platform. If you guys don't use Benzinga Pro, hey, it's available to you guys as part of the packages and the partnerships that we have, guys. Take a look into it. BENF. All right, let's take a look to see if there's any news out there. Right now, I see an offering Looks like there was an offering this morning. At what price? I'd have to go through this and kind of take a look at it. But it looks like up to 12.8 million at a par value of 0 cents. So it looks like some common stocks there. Market's open though, guys. Let's go focus on the action. Right now, I don't have any trade on, so I'm just going to look to see what stocks make a move out of the gates. If you guys got a stock you guys want to take a look at, throw it up in the chat. The market's open. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's go. Let's go, team. You guys know where you're at and what time it is. It's on, traders. Let's go. Let's go. All right, traders, let's see what we can come up with today. There's going to be a lot of action, and I'll be looking around. If you guys see a mover, throw it up there. Of course, you guys see some of the scanners here, and of course, I can throw some other ones if you guys want to take a look at some other scanners. I'll be watching to see what moves out the open and seeing what could take the lead here. We'll wait and find out. All right. Macy's straight down out the gates from 550s to 1530s. So Macy's already getting that slacking right out the gates there. We'll keep watching that Macy's, but Macy's heading straight down out the gates, guys. Look at that, 20 cents hit already. So this looks like it could break through that 15 for sure, guys. This just doesn't look good at all there for Macy's, especially when you see the mentions that Urban gave and some of the ones that have been given in this space. It doesn't look good at all. Macy's heading straight down there. And it's going to be one of those that maybe I can get a VWAP fade, the pushback towards 1546, but we'll be watching that. Macy's, big hit on the downside. Open showing up, guys. You guys know I've been trying to trade Open for a while now at the $2 spot. I've been calling that. Now that's starting to make a lift there towards the 217 right now. Maybe a pullback towards 210s here. Making sense there, but not a bad one. And with that one, I'd be watching Zillow to get the lift, right? And so that's the stock that I was trying to trade it off of. So maybe look to see if Zillow can get the lift, if Rocket could keep going. But Open showing up there, going towards the 218. Not a bad move at all, guys, with Open starting to lift there through that $2 towards the 220s. Hey, really not a bad move there, guys. That's a 6% move already. I'll look for a pullback on that one. Open, not bad, man. Peloton showing up there on the scanners, 389, went through the 4 spot there. Can we go back through the 4 spot? Maybe make a move there on the daily candle. Daily candle has a resistance right around here on the 4. From there, the next spot there is 450s, 475. So if we're looking for continuation, that's where I think it could go. But it's going to have to break through this 4, and it's going to need a good amount of volume to do so. All right, got some volume there. It's right back there towards 4. You can see they're trying to take the 4. Let's see if they take it there. If not, it could turn right back to the downside there. $4 on Peloton, definitely available. Technology leading the upside action out the gates. Taking a look at what's trading out there. Industrials are moving higher. DIA is moving higher. So keeping a watch on that. Micron doing good in technology. So if you're looking for something in technology doing well, that's something I see doing well there. Estee Slaughter on the downside there. Steel Dynamics having a good little move there. We'll see if Peloton can get through that 4. There's a big wall at 405. So that's going to be the wall. The 399 wall, I think you could get through and back through 4. But above the 4s is another wall waiting there. So I'm out of this one. I'm not going to be focusing on this one too much. I'll go towards the other names there and seeing if we can find a move out there. All right, Redfin is another one that could be moving off of that open door, right? And I saw Redfin moving the last couple of days, and look how that's actually looking great here off the 940s. That tells me more and more that the real estate sector could continue to see the lift. So ITB could be one way to play that. Building supplies companies could be one way to play that. BLDR, car I've talked about, and it's been on the playbook. earlier. So keep your eyes on those names, guys. They could see a nice little lift there. I'm actually looking into building materials right now to see what's leading there. I see AEHL. This is a smaller name that's had a pretty good amount of volume this morning. For it to kind of get this lift, it's about 50,000 shares. It's nothing crazy, but could make the run there towards 4. This is not a bad one to watch, guys. It's a little bit of a spread there, but AEHL, I don't know what it does, but Antelope Enterprise Holdings Limited looks pretty good on the daily to really start to get the push back towards 425, maybe potentially running back towards 5. So it's not a bad move there. Don't trade these building materials stocks often, so just taking a look at it. All right, guys, let's take a look at what's leading the market right now. Right out the gates, utilities continuing higher. Man, let's go. XLU. We're going towards it. We're going to get to 76 finally, so the swing trade I can cover that, man. And trying to make that 300 there. Energy getting a little bit of a push there. Industrials, what's on the downside? Defensives, cyclicals out the gates, and technology. Pretty much break even here. Basic materials, going to take a look to see what's leading there. And, of course, watching aluminum to see if Alcoa can make the move there. Alcoa already getting a little bit of some volume in here. Going to take a look to see if it makes the next step up there towards the 3350s and starts to make the move higher. Peloton through the $4, got to the 403, so just calling that one out. Look to see if Alcoa goes through the 3340s. A good little pullback right out the gates there. I think this could really get going, but I'm going to wait for it. AEHL going up there. That's that Antelope there going towards the 359. Could keep going. It's not a bad one there. OLPX going towards the 230s. Staff held that 287 to the key, went up there to the 325s, but kind of failed there, guys. So Staff is slowing down a little bit. Watching Zing right now, guys. That just made a little bit of a lift, and this one has the chart to really push. I just don't know if it can get the push there. There's the push towards 12, so I'm going to be watching this one, guys. This is Zing. Zinging? Is Zinging going to zing today? I don't know, guys, but I like it. I'll be watching it, guys. What do you guys like out there? Keep throwing them up. Tesla, big red. Start it up. All right, what's up out there, guys? Let's see if Palantir gets rejected. We'll be watching it. Don't forget X. X gonna give it to you. I saw Steel Dynamics. That's probably the one that I was looking at, but it's not big up there. Things zinging. Seeing the SPY. The SPY went towards 563.14. So still potential to run. Still potential to run, and then I could see the breakdown come. So right now, I'm not still seeing the breakdown. I'm still seeing a little bit more run, getting towards that 564, and then seeing that cut down start to happen. And if you look at the highs there, the high there is 565.16. So I'm going to actually raise that up to that level. 565.15. That's the exact level that I'm looking for a top out on the SPY. So I'll be looking for it to kind of make that move up there. So for right now, I know that there is some downside, but I think I could still bet to the upside for the time being until we get to that spot. Peloton at 4. We'll see if that can keep moving. Booking up today tells me to take a look maybe to see if the cruise lines are moving. Not moving much there. Open, though. Really nice move there. 222 now, guys. Not a bad one there. A little upset that I don't have this because I'd be up about, from the $2 spot, we're looking at, 9% there. At least it was on the playbook. So that's all I can ever do, guys, is put things on the playbook and then got to determine if I'm going after it. But look at open. Really nice move there. Let's see if Zillow shows up there and starts to make a nice little push here. It's trying to push above the 55.12s, starts to make a move towards 55.25s. Could hold 54.75s on the pullback there. So Zillow, definitely one that I'm watching right now as it starts to get back above the VWAP there. Could have a decent day. I'd like the pullback here towards 55. I wouldn't mind taking that and seeing if I can go ahead and then get the lift right back towards the 55.20s. Not a bad one there on Zillow. Could also take a look at Rocket. Rocket there towards the 20s there. Not a bad move there on the Rocket. UWMC is another one, a cheaper name that isn't watched or focused, that could just continue the trend that it's on. Look at this trend that it's on. Same thing like Rocket. It trades with Rocket. RDFN is another one that's been making the move and could break towards 10 today. Look at that push there from the 9s. Not a bad push at all. 920s. Pretty much 920s straight to 970s. That's a nice 7% move. Here comes Zillow on the pullback. Doesn't look too bad there. I think it could break the 55, maybe coming back towards 54.95s, then trying to catch this to get a move right back up. Hourly chart. Let me just take a look at the hourly. So we got a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4 reversal candle. Would like to see this 54.64s or 54.60 hold from this point. Pullbacks are towards 55. Yeah, 55. And it gave me that opportunity for just a second here. So there's 55.10s there. I'm looking for 55s to show up. All right, looking for Zillow to make a little bit of a pullback here. Looking around to see what's going into the red. I see defensive into the red. Technology still green there. Financial services leading the upside action in energy. That's interesting to see. All right, just put a little order out there at 55 for Zillow here, trying to grab some on the pullback at the VWAP. It might not even pull back to the VWAP. Could start to get going here, right back up there. Move is towards 56 and 56.50s, so you got about a dollar potential there. VWAP is 55.02, so looking to try to get filled towards the 55. Not much moving now, though. Zoom getting a lift today. All right, Tempest AI on the downside of things. Hughes just kind of chomping around. Success, not bad move already towards the 2110. I'm not playing it yet, though. Peloton trying to reload at the 394 to make that move. Zillow just hanging out there at the 55.18s. I'm about to cancel this because it's just, I hate when I just sit there. There's the push towards 55.20, so it looks good. I just need to pull back to 55 to get an entry. If I don't, hey, so be it. Open up 10% out the gates and continuing to rip, man. Not a bad one. Rocket Labs. Zooming. AMS waking up. Staff going crazy. Let's take a look there. I mean, I wouldn't say crazy. It did hold the 287. I talked about that support, so that's actually done pretty well there. It's just slowly grinding on the 9 EMA. But I would say that's a slow grind, not a big rip. How did my Ari do? Ari made it up there towards 675 out the gates, guys. Maybe could have held a little bit longer. This actually went towards what? 690s? Yeah, 690. What a move there, guys. Now this looks like a breakdown, though. I wouldn't be trying to long it here. I couldn't long it now. GRFS. That's a big rip there towards the 826. We'll look to see if that can keep pushing. EH. What about Zing? Looking at Zing here. It's not a bad one to watch. Just on the hourly, I like how it's been going sideways and kind of stopped watch. When people stop watching something, that's usually when it starts to wake up again. All right, we'll see what happens with Zing right now. It's trying to reload at the 1150s here. It's not a bad one that I'll keep on the radar. Right now, it's not doing anything. So what I'll do is I'll set an alert. Spy did try to make that up move towards the 563.20s and failed there again. So definitely seeing that slowdown there. Alcoa tried to make the move and slowed down also. So I did see volume though come in to Alcoa. So I'm watching that right now, guys. I think it's definitely being watched today. There's a pullback in Alcoa. We'll look to see if it starts to catch some dips and actually makes a push towards like 33.50s. How's the Clean Spark doing? On the downside action of things right now, I'd like hourly pullbacks on this back down towards like closer towards like the 1175s today. If it just stays up here at the 1230s, it's just hard to buy it. Peloton can't get through that 4. It's struggling now. Open finally pulling back now. Hims setting up for a little bit of a push there. Decent amount of volume on Hims right now. Urban, how's that doing? Getting a little bounce there on Urban. Schwab back there, guys. So that's actually one that it looks to me like a short from here, but I'm going to try to let it go back through the high one more time. So go back to 64.20s and then I want to hit it. Schwab. Spy heading down there. Q's heading down there a little bit, but still not the downside that I'm looking for. No rejection on that. Macy's back up there to the 1557. So that actually looks interesting for me. Let me get one more drive in Macy's. I want to short the crap out of this. All right, guys, still got the XLU. You guys see it there. This is the swing trade side of things. $15.70s and $15.80s. I definitely want to get short on Macy's, so I'm going to start setting up for that. All right, guys, got some ladder order ready for shorts on Macy's. I'm going to have it out there and just keep it working. It starts at 1560s. It works up to 1570s, 1580s, and then finally a big order at 16 just in case it gets up there. And then I'd get big short. Ari now going towards 681, guys, and this one might halt there. So there it is, halted. Maybe I was wrong on that $6 pullback there. It should have been Ari on the long today, man. I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad I was able to make some money on Ari. But if I would have been able to hold even 100 shares, I mean, it'd be looking great, guys. It'd be up about $2 or $3 now. But can't be mad about that, guys. I made a big gain on Ari today. We'll see when it reopens. It got up there to 681s. It's on the halt, though. Shot showing up there. Shot. Trying to get through that $1 spot, this seems like to me. SMX getting a little bit of a lift there. Zing getting a little lift off the 1050s is keeping me interested right now. All right, 56 starting to show up there. The risk is a move back down, and it's like about $30 here, so I don't mind it here. It's already jumping there towards the 1170s here. Just got an alert there. Zing. Zing's my alert there, so we'll wait for one more pullback and then the rip. It's not a bad one to watch here as it starts to pull back. I'm looking for a slight undercut of the 50s, maybe going towards like 1140s, 1135s on the bid, and then it comes back up through that 1175s and 12s. Watching for that, guys. All right, looking around, guys, trying to see if any big movers from the open here. AAP is opening. That's a crazy stock, man. All right, let's keep a watch on some of these here. What are some of the names I'm watching today? Zillow. Sox S, man. Sox S. The Sox was the play. Seems like right out the gates, at least. I wasn't playing it right out the gates, but boy, oh boy, hasn't been a bad move there. It's already been a nice 3%. Peloton, did we get back through that 4? No, we have not. Open back to 210, so that's kind of the play there. I could play it off the 210s, looking for the move back to 225s. That's not a bad outlook. That's 15 cents on the upside. You got to risk about the 15 cents, though. Staying back towards that 1150s, going with that 1140s on the pullback there, looking for that little pullback towards the 1140s, 1135s, and then I could see this really kind of take off there. Target pretty weak there. Zing, are you gonna zing for me today? Volume on this thing is just unheard of. Back towards the 1155 on the offer. Just not moving right now, but could get moving through that 1175. Ben F Got up there towards the 260s, 270s, but just can't get going right now. Still has potential, but it hasn't gotten going. Zing's just hanging out, not making the move right now. That's the hard part, is just sitting there. Spy overall now coming for the up move here. So I think you're going to get a pullback in success. Macy's back to 1550s. I think I got the 1560s entries. That's it. That's all I got there on Macy's. I have to chase a little bit. I hate chasing on Macy's. Yeah, I got to chase there. No fill on Macy's? Come on, man. You hit 1560s. I should have got one fill at least. That's a little frustrating. I want at least 100 shares just in case it does make that big breakdown. Right now, I'm going to leave it off. See the SPY making the up move. There's the Qs making the up move. There's tech into the green now. XL left, up there towards the 44s and rejecting to break out above the 44s is an important outlook for me today. FFIE showing up there, guys. That's a squeezer. Trying to get the break above 4 right now. You can see it right now at that 4 spot. Chris, CRIS, dot Roma. Ari opens up there. 720, 750s on that first pop, man. Whew. Wish I had a little bit of a piece there on Ari. I'd be celebrating the day already on just that stock alone. Resistance coming into play, though, is towards 8. So definitely seeing a little bit of a slowdown now. Could get to 8 and then turn, but I'm not going to get in front of it. The fake Tesla, or the one that people mistake all the time, TLSA. Meta ripping. Yeah, nice little push. Nice little push there, Nando. What are you guys looking at? Zillow holding that 55 pullback after going back down to the 54.60s. So now can make the up move here. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's not a bad one to watch, but SPY's just chomping all around, guys. Just tried to make an up move towards the 563s. Now ran it into some kind of overhead resistance. There's been some overhead resistance on this trend line here. So you can see it here on the 1 minute. This is actually holding up right now. So the 15-minute can tell you it. 562 rejection there. STEC popping above the 50-cent spot there, guys. Of course, this one could run there back towards the high on Tuesday of 93. So this one's actually not a bad one. Definitely got some reload at the kind of the 43 spot. So that's kind of the area where I could see the pullbacks coming back towards like 43s. But this is actually starting to move there. Stantec holding limited. It's a 53-cent stock. So maybe a pullback now towards the 47 cents makes sense, but we'll see if it can keep running. Staff hanging out there. Might get through 4. It's trying. There's 4 shows up there for staff. There's 445. There's 450s. So staff did make that breakthrough 4 really quickly and got there towards the 450s. We'll look to see if it keeps going. It's through the pre-market high, and 287 held to a key on that one. So pretty good trade off of that if you're able to nail it. Q's trying to break down. How's XRT doing? Pretty weak on the day today. Victoria's Secret. Starbucks going down today, so could start seeing that trade start to give up. How's the Chipotle doing? Pulling back also. All right, big levels to watch out there, guys. We'll be seeing what happens here. Definitely seeing a little bit of some shake in the market here, and we're getting some downside action around different areas. So just be careful that we actually start to see some real downside here. Schwab tried to make it move back there towards the 6420, still waiting for it, but could start seeing financial services go red. It's rejecting that 44 run. That's what I'm looking at here. Maybe JPM starts to just let go here. Of course, yesterday JPM costed me a little bit here, so I wouldn't mind to get it back from JPM. Also, Morgan Stanley could be the cut down through the 100 spot. So I've been watching that one. That one just rejected 101. Could cut down through that spot right there. Goldman Sachs, another rejection of 499 tells me, yes, weakness could be coming. It could just be right around the corner there for the financials. We'll keep a close eye on that. FFIE now towards 429 and 430s there. Definitely seeing the pop on that one, but I can't trade that thing with a 10-foot pole. But hey, to each his own. If you guys like it, get after it, traders. Make that money when you can. Peloton trying to get back through 4. We'll look to see if it gets there. BSCO now looking like it's trying to break down here on Victoria's Secret. So I could just try to short this bad boy back down towards 23s today. Not a bad outlook here. Question is, will the SPY make one more up move on the day? We're at 10 o'clock, so it could start to give up already. Still not giving it up right now, and that's why I'm kind of hanging on here. All right, things slowing down, that's for sure here, guys. We'll see what happens if we see that downside come in here, but not seeing much right now, man. Everything's kind of slow. Target, can this find a bottoming action today? We'll wait and find out, guys. Smash the like. What's going on out there, traders? What are you guys looking at? Yeah, Ben F still not moving. I saw that one, Steph. Yeah, that Ben F, I wouldn't be watching it too much because of the offering. I think that is affecting it. Target getting a little bounce there. That's interesting. Walmart having a decent day there. Costco now starting to make the move. SPY still holding in, still hasn't really broken down. It's kind of like just a back and forth right now. And when you start to see things are not moving. Like the biggest move right now is not even a full percent. And that tells me something. So right here, guys, you guys see it right here where the change from the open, there's things that are just pretty much not moving from the open. And a lot of things are kind of break even right now. They're trying to determine where they're going to take it today. Right now, I'm not playing. I'm waiting for it to give me the action on which area and then getting after it. Brandon's looking at RE for pullbacks. I can't touch that now. If I touch that and give up the gains, I'll be upset. I took a big gain on that RE. I'm not going to be mad at it. Still watching Palantir, says Eric. Definitely not a bad one to watch. We'll see what happens there. There's the SPY trying to make a down move here. Will we get it there? Will we get some let go? Find out, team. Find out. Macy's heading towards 1538. Could see that downside come in today. There's the downside action further here. All right, I got to take one shot at least. Let's take one shot here. Success is just ripping, man. All right, guys, I'm going to go for a little short here on Victoria's Secret. Yeah, let's take it here, guys. I'm already short there, guys. Looking for this to break back down here. This is a little bit harder pattern because it's really not a bearish pattern. It's kind of stuck in the middle right now. But what I'm really looking to see is it starts to break down back below this and could cut through the low really quickly. So I'm looking for a washout type of move. Big candle down to 2330s on that cut down would be a nice little cut down here. We'll see what happens. Push back through, let's say 65 and 70s could get me out. Trying to take a shot here, risk about $100, see what happens. Man, success, guys. Success. I talked about it. It was on the playbook, but I didn't play it because I was looking for a later breakdown. And man, this has been holding the whole morning. Just grinding up higher. 4% move, 96 cents. So hope somebody was able to nail that trade. All right, looking for this to cut down through that 50 spot and really start to give up there is Victoria's Secret. You guys know I've been trying to get after this one, so hey, getting after it today, guys. There's the SPY. Big down move there, guys. Big down move. With that, I can start to take a look to other shorts out there. Even Tesla looks interesting here. Nice rejection to the 225. Could break the 221s and just go lower here. Could be kind of a scalp opportunity here to start looking for those cut downs. Look at the SQQQ, just ripped towards that 786. So that's another scalp opportunity type of move. Could be the Vixie too, right? The Vixie's back towards the levels of yesterday. Could break out through that level. I could look for like a quick little pullback here on the Vixie to see if it gives me a little bit of a pullback and then look to buy that. Just take that to the next level. So let's see, 560s here. And I'm trying to trade it back there towards the 1180s where it was at yesterday. So let's see if I can get a starter here and then look for a little bit more pullback, then really take this. I'm going to take some right there, guys. I just took 500 shares there on the long. I'm looking for pullbacks back towards 55 and 60s to add on this. Put an order at 58, and then I'm going to put an order down towards 50. All right, guys, so I got the orders out there. I got 500 shares of that one. I'm going to also go back to VSCO and probably be adding to that one as I'm looking for this to really break down now. Was waiting for a breakdown type of day, and then now can really get after it here. I'm going to add another 300 here. All right, just added another 300 there for VSCO. I'm trying to get this to start to break down, going back towards the 2330s, cut towards 2310s. I'll be looking good. I'll be up 40 cents there, looking to try to make a nice little gain there in VSCO. SPY breaking down there to the 560s, 92s. And so the SOX move, I mean, I ain't even going to talk about SOX anymore. That looks great, but we'll find out what happens here. Vixie trying to make a breakout there, got towards the 67s, guys. I got 64s, so I'm going to look to eventually see this start to push. I will look at the hourly chart to give me a little bit better levels, right? So the hourly chart says a breakout was a breakout opportunity above the 1160s. Pullbacks towards 1156 should be holding now, 57. So that's where I have my ad. There you guys have it. I just looking for the ad there on the Vixie. No pullback, no ad there at the 64s. Now starting to go back to the 65s here. I'm trying to step up here. $66 by 67 here. Will we see the real cut down here? Right now, I got pullback offers out there. $58, $57s. I could see it pulling back to. That's where I'll add. Clean spark down to 1222s. That could keep coming down towards 1175s today. Vixie's a scalp opportunity here, so. All right, seeing that next leg come in, I'm adding here to the Vixie, guys. Now I got 1,000 shares here. 1,000 shares, 1166. Taking a bigger shot here on a scalp on the Vixie. Short Palantir at 32.95. Get it, Eric. Get it, man. Brandon said you're shorting. Hey, I like it, Brandon. You're going to go after a short on Ari. It's not a bad outlook. I had 8 being that area where it could struggle. It's gone up there 1, 2, 3, 4 times to try to get through that 70s. I'd like this to blow off top right here. Go towards like 8 and then just fail. That's not a bad outlook here. That's Ari. Just failed there at the 77s again. One last time here. Could just start to fail going right back towards 650s. I'd like to see the blow off towards the 8. Target getting a little love today, guys. That's one area that I will tell you guys is getting a little love. Target. The SEO back towards the 53s. We'll see what happens on that one. Keeping a close eye on the 15-minute chart. Like to see it break down through the 15-minute last candle, 2348s, go towards the 2330s, and then break that. Ari got up there towards the 77s. One more drive, one more drive. Can it do that drive? We'll see what happens with Ari if it's a turnaround. I'm focusing on the ones that I got right now. All right, starting to see a little bit of that pullback. There's the Vixie holding there, now going back towards the 65, 66. So here's my chance for the Vixie to make the move. Stepping up to the plate here, guys. Now 1,500 shares there on the Vixie. Looking for the move here, guys. Looking for it. VSCO. Got to keep watch on that one. I got a pretty good amount on VSCO. Probably a little bit too much. I'll say that. Remember how I've been trying to start slow? If there's one thing that I'll make a mention right now and kind of give myself a little bit of maybe some criticism, you can say, or analysis, it would be that VSCO is a little bit too big. So let's see if I can get the direction to go in my direction, maybe 2330s, and then just take some off there to make sure I pay myself. At least I got a nice cushion on the day, right? Vixie is going to be just a 10-cent scalp, guys. The Vixie, I'm not trying to get a big move. Even like a 20-cent scalp is probably like a big move for me. I'm looking for yesterday's high to go towards. So that's a move towards 1185. That'd be about 285 on the gains. So if I could get that, I'll take it. So looking for the move back towards the 1185 on that. That's if we still see the breakdown in the SPY and the Qs. The SPY and the Qs was a decent breakdown. It went back towards the 561. Now the question is, do we bounce here and go right back to the highs? You got to be careful for that. I'll be watching to see if it recovers VWAP. VWAP is 562.25s on the SPY, or do we just make another leg down, right? Another leg down is what I need to get that real big move. But let's see what happens here, guys. Taking a big step there, guys, on the Vixie. Just got to continue to watch that. Pullbacks could be to the 60 spot, but looking for the Vixie to take that next level. 75 shows up there, and then we could run towards the 85s. Maybe potentially running towards 12 today. That's going to be the top outlook that it could go to. SPY is slowing down, and when the SPY slows down, that's not what I want to see, at least here. I'm looking for continued momentum on the breakdowns. Schwab right at 64s, man. This looks like a short for me. Made that attempt to go towards 64.20s. Now could start to fall. Schwab short is what I see here. All right, short some Schwab there. Only 200 shares there, but it's not towards the 64.20s, and I already have some other positions on, so I don't want to get too big here. I can see this coming back to 63, so it's about $2 outlook. That's still $200 on the gain there, and it's keeping the risk small here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on Schwab. Short, though, yes, I am. What can I say? I don't like Schwab. I'm a trade the pool fan. That's what it's all about, guys. Smash it up, guys. What are you guys looking at out there on FFIE? All right, baby. Made that money, wisdom. Let's go. Can't go mad. Can't get mad. BSCO now going into the green slightly for me there. So I'm going to go focus on that one. Back towards the 23s, and this could be a big winner. So let's see if we can get this to really start going in my direction. All right, guys. I'm looking for this to get that first action move there so I can take like a good portion of this VSCO off. It's just too much risk here. I'm fighting right now to maybe just cut my VSCO position. It's a bigger risk position here. And so that's one thing that I clearly see is like I'm risking a good amount, but it's also a good amount on the reward side. Just got to be careful here, guys. And you guys see me, I'm fighting myself on the position. Normally that tells me to size down because it means I'm too sized up, but I'm right off my levels right now. So the opening price, and I got 230.50s. We're right off of that. So I'm looking to see if I can get maybe just a first reaction and then take some profits. But hey, I can at least tell you guys that I feel the pressure. And there was 100,000 shares that went through here, 23,000 shares that went through around the 23.55, that if it recovers, it's a little bit dangerous, and it's right around the VWAP. And that's where you got to be a little bit careful. So is this a dangerous position? Yeah. And I'm feeling it, and that tells me something. All right, guys, ticking time bombs going off. The Qs don't want to come down. The SPY doesn't want to come down. And if it doesn't come down here in the next 5 minutes, it could just start to work back towards the VWAP. And there goes a little recovery there. Little recovery there on the SPY. And so that's where I get a little bit concerned, right? I mean, it's not an insane risk right now, but if it goes and spikes 20, 30 cents, it will be. So I got to keep that in mind here. Looking to see if the SPY can just make another leg down here. Bets on, guys, and I'm using my cushion. That's what I'm going to give myself the ability to stay in the trades right now, is that, yes, they're a little bit more in that risky situation, but I'm just slightly in the red here. Got a nice cushion. I'm going to use that cushion to try to take a shot here. Let's go. Let's go. Smash the like out there, guys. It's another beautiful day here trading on Trade the Pool. If you guys haven't checked out the swing trade side of things, hey, these are the times where swing trades really kind of make the money on the turns in the market. We'll see what happens today. Open bouncing a little bit there. So if you guys were looking at open for an opportunity, open not bad there, guys. Back to the 218s. I talked about 210s. That looks like it's trying to get back up there. So just to mention one. All right, guys, it's definitely gotten quiet after that first speed up here. So looking around, trying to focus on my positions here. Seeing Schwab back up there towards 64.14. So that's one that I could re-short at 64.20s. All right, setting the risk in Schwab towards 64.41. If it goes up there, I just want to get out anyways. So I just want to go focus on the other names. The other ones are bigger positions, so I got to focus on those. Vixie's back down towards the 62s, so just continuing to watch it here. It could pull back to the 60s. Spy, of course, is climbing back after the fake out to the downside, so might have gotten me, right? I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the move back towards the daily highs. I didn't get it. I started getting the fake out to the downside, and I said, you know what, man, I'm joining it. And now I got to kind of play it, right? Because if it comes back here towards 562, I'm definitely caught in a lot of positions. And that's the hard part about trading turns, is that, yeah, they can make you money, but they can also break you because they're just trying to kind of chomp you out. So just trying to stay true to the positions now and just focus in. It's just a bunch of chop, man. We're playing that chop right now, guys. It's almost 10:30, guys. So like always, guys, take a look out there. And you guys know I use the level 2 and the time and sales all the time here. Let's go take a look at maybe Ari for a second there. Ari starting to come back down. Did get above the $8 spot there, guys. So that was that blow off top that I was like kind of looking for. Now I could see this Ari kind of dropping down. Let me take a look at Ari right here. All right, guys, you can see on the level 2s, you're starting to see some bigger sizing there, and you see over there towards 850s that kind of bigger size there. So I'm going to look to see if that 850s can get hit there. And then right after that 850s, I can start to look to short off the 880s. So you got to be careful there, though, and understanding the risk is very important. 50 shares is how I'd go about it first, and then look to add it. 840s showed up there for a second there. I'm looking for 850s. Trying to get short on Ari. 850s, come on. 850s on the offer. Now that big wall is gone off that 850s, I'm looking for him to hit there. There it is. It just got hit off the offer there. Looking for the 850s to show up there. All right, it might not hit it there, so might have to just step up here towards the 836. All right, just got short a little bit there at the 830s. Now going to look for a little bit of a spike here to get short a little bit more here. All right, just put out there 860s. All right, it's starting to cut down back through the 820s. That's actually a good sign. It's now starting to reject the 9 EMA. Vixie going in the green. Victoria's Secret pretty red there for me. That's where I talked about how that Victoria's Secret position was just probably a little bit too big. Vixie going in the green there actually makes me feel a little bit more confident though. All right, looking at Ari to see if it's going to start to drop now. $866 is pretty much the risk there, so that's just to get an understanding. Victoria's Secret, man. What the hell just happened there? Schwab covered. Yeah, Schwab. Yeah, Schwab hit me there, guys. $81 on Schwab. Frickin' Schwab. SPY's heading down there. That's why I'm holding on to that Victoria's Secret right now. This is struggling right here, Ari. I'm getting after it, guys. I just went towards 100 shares now. All right, guys, risking 52 on this, looking for the move right back down on Ari. And look at that, guys. Look at Ari just rip there. Give my $52. Said, take that from you. I'll take it. That could be the blow off top right there, guys. I was trying to maybe add at 860s, but I was like, you know what? Be careful for that blow off top. So could still get after this, but I'm going to go focus on the Vixie. Vixie's up big, guys. Looking to see if I can get the push to the 1190s, 1185s. VSCO, I still need that to start coming back down. SPY heading down, but did not break there. Let's see a nice little breakdown here. Is the SPY trying to do another cut down towards the 560s? Some weakness is available to it. We'll see it. As Victoria's Secret now starting to make a little bit of a move there. Right now I have it at the 2286 for Victoria's Secret, where I take the profits. Target is the one on the upside, guys. It's doing pretty well. Still up 120s. Was up close to 300 there. Gave up about, what, 130? So got to keep getting after it. We'll see what happens out there. Going to the gym now. Ben F. Order in place. Have a good one. Hey, take care, Steph. Take care. Enjoy that gym. Got to get the gym. Got to work hard, right? Got to get those flex games. Let's go. Now, I think it's definitely important to kind of work out and kind of keep the stress low. As a trader, you deal with stress daily. So you got to be able to know how to deal with that. See if VSCO can just reject this move and then finally come down here. But it's a dangerous play today, guys, man. I will tell you guys that right now, of course, especially the habits, right? The habits that I'm trying to form. Today, I've been stepping up a little bit too much in sizing. It's been working out for me. But with VSCO, a little part of me is like, man, should just size down and when we get back to break even. But 800 is too big for that VSCO position. It would be okay if I was deeper into the green, but I'm just slightly red now. I'm 15 cents red. It's not big red, but since I'm so big, it's causing the stress because of the net P&L, right? SPY tries to cut down and then starts to recover. Target, though, strong now towards 160. Walmart not looking too bad. Let's see what's up from the open in the last hour. In the hour, only real estate. Everything else is red from the open. Technology actually leading some downside action. CMAX, CareMax doing pretty well there. Did Zing ever move? Nah, it didn't. Serve. Ari up there to 9, man. What a crazy day, man. I had Ari back at 520s. Spy, what are you going to do for me, man? You going to do another leg, or are we going to start to work back? Could start to work back, and then I'm really SOL'd. Well, guys, the weakness is in the market. Now the only question is, will it continue? We could still see a lift back towards the resistance. We'll see what happens out there. Plays of the week, ASSN. You got RR, GTI for me, and of course, gold, because everybody loves gold, baby. Gold. Who wouldn't be loving some gold? FFIE, is that thing still moving? Man, I got to 450s. When the trash gets moving, guys. Open. We'll look to see if that continues. That got back to toward 20s. We'll look to see if it keeps pushing. All right, guys. It looks like we got Timmy Tip in the house. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring him on here. Tip. What's up, man?
Hey,
how we
Mitch,
doing?
How you doing? Hey, good. Another week, another working audio, so that's a big step in the right direction.
Yes, it is. It's a big step in the right direction. And don't mute button me. Saved me the other day.
No. Yeah, so I'm just playing catch up a little bit, looking over my watch list here. To be honest, I was under the weather a little bit this week, so I've just been gearing up and not trading, and every time I have the willpower to actually wait until I'm sharp, I feel I'm much happier at the end of the day looking at my P&L. So I did have a small short on AMD overnight, and that seems to be working out. I added a little bit right after the open, I believe. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, I definitely want to get your outlook on Target a little bit later, and maybe we can talk about it during the show at some point, right? Right now, I'm in a couple different positions. I'm really pretty much betting on the breakdown right now. I'm in Victoria's Secret short. That's just, that stock got 20% off of a CEO mention. At some point, I feel like that's going to come back down at least 10%. We'll see what happens on that. And then I got the Vixie. So taking a bet on that, right? That's just fast mover, big size, looking to see if it can continue to climb. Yesterday got a nice scalp on it towards the 1185s, and it stopped around the 1187. So looking to see if we can get another ride up, seeing if the market could actually break down some and really kind of cut down here. It's just hanging on by a thread, but we all know how the SPY loves to do this and then come ramping right back. So what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so I'm just looking at a couple of the other indices. So I do see some weakness still on, weakness for the day on all of them. But yeah, Nasdaq's down. Still looks like it's still breaking down. Russell's trying to push up still, but yeah, it looks to me like a bear flag, if anything, I would say. But we'll have to see how it goes. Let me I can share this here.
Yeah. Did at least get a nice one on that Ari, and then I lost a little bit on the short side of it, but small boys. Wonder how Peloton's moving now. Oh, look at it get through that $4. Now back towards 420. So Peloton holding pretty well since the pre-market. Peloton.
Now this is interesting. I looked at Target at the let me share this here. I looked at Target like a little bit after the open, and I must have it's been climbing up since then, since about
man, it's been looking good actually. I've been talking about it. It's been looking good actually on the day for the way that the other action is going in the market. That's actually looking well. Of course, Walmart's doing well there also. That's going to be a good sign there. Costco that's doing decent, very similar. But definitely Target, not a bad move there, back towards 160. Here, I'll put you up.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit to my longer term.
That could take that 160. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
Man,
so
the
we're
SPY
still
is
down
just
below.
playing with me. It's like, here, you're either gonna make your money or you're gonna lose it right here, baby.
Now the funny thing is, I've commented before. We have what I call that magic level at 140, 141, and I think just for I'm gonna, a couple times this week it was hovering right around there in this last week, and I regret it every time I doubted. So I mean, we got a big pop off the earnings here, but to be honest, with the jobs revisions and I don't know. I think I'm biased. I think there's some weakness in the economy that's starting to come out, and we'll see people take action on that. Like consumer spending, right? It's static, but it's not.
Yeah,
same level or type of spending like before.
Either the corporations are lying to us or there's real weakness out there. There's two things. Either they're lying to us or there's real weakness, right? I've been talking about, could they just be like trying to just lower the bar, like set a low bar for the next earnings report? That could be another thing that you're seeing from a lot of corporations. They're all trying to set that low bar, right? The only question is, are they telling us the actual truth, right? Is there real demand issues? Is there real concern? Estee Lauder just recently with the China concern, right? I mean, so many mentions on the downside. Home Depot, low, right? They both gave you that outlook that they're not seeing do-it-yourself projects. The airlines they were the first ones, right? The airlines were the warnings at first. We saw kind of Airbnb give a warning, right? And lodging and that space, travel. It's been a lot of warnings, but the numbers haven't really shown that, right? Because the recent retail data that we got in from July was actually pretty decent. So it's interesting to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's hard to judge with Jackson Hole overshadowing everything today, I think.
Not to mention, we got the big bad wolf tomorrow with his
tomorrow at 10, right?
Yeah, with his yearly everybody look at me day. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Jackson Hole, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we will be live in the Discord. I'm sure you'll be up commenting on that. We'll probably throw your stream up and there, but we'll be trading that or kind of watching that together. We'll do some live trading later in the day as well, group trading in the Discord.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I'm kind of hanging in on these positions right now. A little part of me is like, man, it wouldn't be bad to maybe take the downside on the market today, then get to Jackson Hole, then put out some interest rate cut outlook, and the market's right back to all-time highs. That's how they do it to us a lot of the time. So, hey, just be careful out there, traders. I feel like it's one of those days today where you're definitely going to get that back and forth. And then today, I think towards at some point, I could see a big cut down.
And a lot of these, we see this previously where, a lot of times it'll set up, it'll be just trending in one direction, and that's really setting up for a big entry. So you've got, I'm sure you've got traders, institutions, firms sort of painting the tape here, getting themselves into a good position there for whatever they anticipate happening. So I'm pulling up here. I'm looking at target. I mean, I could see it pushing from here. To be honest, I still lean kind of bear on it, but this is 2 or 3 times in a row now that they've surprised to the upside. So I got to give it to them. I'm gonna just look and see what I've got.
Oof, the battle's out there, guys. I'm seeing the Vixie back towards the levels, and it's all about the SPY. Does it break down now or does it not? I mean, it's just literally based on that if I'm going to get my gains today. So I can't blame myself for taking that shot. That's all you can do a lot of the times. Set up for the move. I'm set up for the move. Now the question is, will it happen? And when the SPY hangs out here like this, I kind of hate it, to tell you the truth. Because this just gives potential for buying to come in, right? Because so we're looking for the continued leak, but now you're getting that sideways channel, where on the sideways channel, you can give them the opportunity and the algos to keep adding off the bottom there, and then you get a ramp back up.
I don't know. SPY, like I said before, SPY is always hard for me to read. I always there's so much in it. So the other indices are a little easier for me to get a sense on, but I don't know. It still looks bearish to me. And I've got up here I've got the super trend indicator. I'd use that sometimes. So we've got NASDAQ still well below that, but Russell did kind of just push above that, and then it's below. Is this a different color? I think this must be my VWAP still though.
All right, so they're saying, Tim, can you turn yourself up, my friend?
Yeah.
Turn up. They're saying Mitch is yelling at us and Tim is whispering.
Yeah. Well, as we've learned, we have to let StreamYard try to do its auto adjusting, but give me a second and I'll change it.
Yeah, I know you got that, man. I lowered myself a little bit there, guys. So if you guys see me a little lowered or too lowered, just let me know. But taking a shot here, guys. We'll see what happens, man. Back and forth here in the Vixie. A little part of me feels like stepping up to the plate as the SPY makes an attempt down move here. Let's just do it, man. It's one of those days. I got a cushion. I got to take my shots sometimes. Sometimes I get to this point where I kind of hesitate a little bit. But on a day like today, man, I'm stepping up to the plate. 2,000 shares of the Vixie. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Of course, need to start holding towards that 1 minute, but still, I'm looking for a little bit more than the 10 cents too. I'm looking for that push towards like 11.85s, something like that. Then the Victoria's Secret coming down. We'll see it, man. The SPY's trying to break. Can we just get a nice bar to 559? That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, this looks weak to me. I mean, unless it's like a complete fake setup, this looks really weak to me generally. So
yeah, it is. It's just more, can it get the continuation? It like bleeds and then stops, right? The bleeding stops immediately.
And if anything, I do so I did bump the level up, by the way, and I'll try to, it's possible I was mumbling too, so I'll make sure to try to project a little more. But yeah, I'm looking at let me zoom out a little bit, get a little more I'll get a little more context here. I'm looking at the wrong month. CL. I'm just peek in at oil as well.
Come on, SPY. I spy with my little eyes.
Okay. You were talking about gold earlier, weren't you? I think I heard that.
I love gold, man. I love it. Nah, gold has been one that we've been watching for the run since the 17. Now I think it's on like a little bit of a pullback. It looks like a 9 EMA pullback, 1980s. I could see it going back to, and then trying to catch a little bit more of that kind of pullback buy. Did a nice little move though from 17 up to 20s, and it got all the way up past the 20, right? 20, 80, 89s. I think now you get that nice little 9 EMA pullback. 1970s is where it's at right there. So I'd be looking for that. A little pullback on gold. But it also depends on how the market moves. But overall, I mean, you don't always just get the same move. So finally getting a little move here in the Vixie. Not too much, right? But at least something to at least look at, right? So let's take a look here, guys. You guys can see it in the bottom left corner, 2,000 shares, 1166. We're up there towards the 1170s. Of course, yesterday we were just up here towards a break, and we broke right above this 1174s, 1175, and we made a run to 87s. I'm looking for that run to go to that 85s, maybe even potentially 90s. If that happens, I got a big win here in the Vixie. Trying to get after it, team. Let's see if I can get it.
Yeah, I don't quite have a read yet. Interesting. It's an interesting day, but we're also you know, Jackson Hole is underway. Let me see what I have here. Let me see the news here.
Of course, right when that happens, you see a little bounce there in the SPY.
Gonna see, and I should have checked this up. Do you know if you may have covered this already? Do you know if they're making any other speeches besides Powell, or if there's any other? I don't know if we have. I just had it up, but I wonder if we have the agenda of the symposium to know who's discussing what topics here.
I mean, I could take a look at it. I think the only one you really need to pay attention to is Jerome, but that's just because that's what's focused on Jackson Hole. At least for Jackson Hole, right? Because you're talking about not everybody gets a chance to speak there, but you are going to get different speak there, right? So you're going to different talk early on. They address more like market or economic conversations, and then they probably won't make an interest rate comment until tomorrow. So
yeah, I think it's saying this actually kicks off this evening. Let me see if they have a schedule. I'm just going to pull this up. Anyway.
All right. They're saying some people are reporting live from that. So keeping up with that. I'm just looking around, trying to keep up. Definitely going to be watching that to see what happens there. But Jackson Hole, Montana. Good old Montana.
Yeah, let's see if they've got a agenda.
Come on, Vixie.
Papers. So they're giving papers. Those papers are already online. So I guess I should have read those so I'd know.
They're giving paper, man. They're getting free paper out there. Computer paper, or some of the good stuff. Tim. You're gonna have to use some AI on that.
So I'm guessing any of the remarks or any of the info that's put out is going to be is already public. So that would have been something to read up on, though, like to anticipate the Q&As. Read 500 500 pages of economics papers or whatever.
That's always fun.
Interesting, though. So I'm looking at this Sky Biosciences. It's not really doing much at all. They started their phase 2 trial. Another obesity treatment. They are trying it in combination with Wegovy. But yeah, they had a little pop in the morning from 550 all the way to 750. But
all right, guys. I just to let you guys know, I just downsized on Victoria's Secret. I'm just like, Vixie's in the green there for me. There's no point in me just staying that big, because if I get squeezed on that and it just blows all the Vixie gains, I'll be upset. I'll be honest. So at that point, I'm just like, you know what? You're too big, Mitch. Size down. I took off half of it. I'd rather take the $26 hit right now than take the $100 and something hit, right? So this morning I started off with almost 300. I'm back to 100 here and trying to get back through it, trying to get maybe towards the 400, 500 on the day and call it a wrap. It's 10:54. We're almost done, man. It's been a fast one today. I don't know about you, Tim. It feels like it's been a fast one for me.
Yep, the morning flew by. I felt like I missed most of the fun. Clearmind is just coming down to the 200 EMA, though, so that's interesting.
Eric telling me, don't be scared, man. You got this.
Yeah,
Wisdom,
don't forget,
we won't read that one.
The London market closes in 35 minutes, so keep an eye on that. 11:30.
Has that ever been something that you used, Tim? I got to be honest.
I use that pretty much every day. I look for. So right now, like, and even
I would love to see like conversation on this. You can always learn, guys. Even myself. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, like even AMD, right? So at like 10:50, we started seeing buying on AMD here. Let me see which screen I'm sharing, and then I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I'll get you ready. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep. So at 10:50, we started seeing the buying going into. That's way too zoomed in. Going into that, and I expect that to be usually, in this case, the primary momentum was down, so I expect that was just that's just short covering here. So I would say I probably remain short biased unless we see a trend change in general. But I would expect to see, covering for, the next 5 minutes or so, maybe even the next 35 minutes. But then I'd expect to see that sort of peter out into 11:30. And then that's the question, is like, okay, now their power hour is kind of over. And now we say, okay, do we see a reversal, or does the trend continue back down? So a lot of times I use that for entries. And a lot of times I'll try to get out of something that I'm in. So right now I'm looking at, you can see it's coming up here to this outer VWAP band, and it's got some, let's see, it's got some room up even to the previous low. I'd expect it to at least come up to here. So if it breaks above here, I'm probably going to close my entire AMD short and just wait until 11:30. But it looks like already that covering is weak. So remains to be seen what's in the next half hour. But yeah, I use that a lot. So I would advise, like, set a timer for that and just watch, like, right at like 30, then 35, you'll often get like sort of a back test, and then 40, you get a back test of that, and then things really kick into gear. Of course, the lunch break's right after, so so many things going on, it's hard to read. But yeah.
I've paid attention to kind of the Asian markets, before the open, but I haven't done too much on the European markets. I mean, it's just something that just hasn't come up for me as a way to find edge. But hey, guys, there's so much out there that you guys can try to get that edge, right?
Yeah, I'm not even watching it directly. I mean, I've traded the Swiss and the London market specifically, maybe others, but it's more just knowing that time is there. And just like if you've got a position that's done really well throughout the day, you get to 3 o'clock, 3:30, 3 o'clock, 3:20, right? Same thing, right? You start seeing all of a sudden it starts petering out. If you lose momentum there, you might want to take your gains and reassess. So it's just the same thing, the timing. I probably should watch like the FTSE and all these other things to get a better sense, but just knowing those key times can help.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Definitely. All right, guys. So I'm looking at it right now, and I'm thinking like, hey, here, there's two ways I can go about it here. I can try to hedge, right? I can try to maybe grab a little bit of the TQQQ, or maybe it's the SPY, or the SPXS or SPXS or XPSL. So something like that, right? You can try to maybe hedge a little bit here. That's going to be one thing that I can think about here. But I'm just holding on, guys. I'm going to take my shot. Win or lose on these two names. That's what it's going to be. All right, guys. It's about 10:58. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. We'll see what happens in the SPY, of course, as it hasn't been a bad day. Ending the day in the green today, at least for the time being. We'll see if it's big green, or will I go small red. That's how I can see it. On the downside, maybe maximum lose 200 on the day, but it gave myself the shot to make that 600, 700. That's what I'm going to be trying to get after. Eric is actually long now Palantir when he was short Palantir, I think. So, hey, that's how it goes, guys. Maybe a little reverse position there from Eric. Any mentions you want to make, Tim, before we get out of here?
I'll just check back in on Target, and just so everyone knows, I did close that AMD short. I will look to re-enter, but right now, looks like oil making a strong push there too. But yeah, I will look to re-enter, but it looks, if I have to guess, there's going to be some push up later in the day. Target, I'm going to see similarly what it does here, if it can push up through the open and back to the highs. Otherwise, probably bearish on Target down to that 141.41. And I'll be keeping an eye on Clearmind. I'll be keeping an eye on TNFA. But to be honest, I think the macro is sort of overshadowing most everything. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I agree, man. Keep your eyes out there on the action out there, guys. SPY is still chomping around. It still hasn't picked the direction. We'll see what happens there, right? Once it picks that direction, that's really where the traders are going to make and lose the money. Whether you're long or short, right? The bears out here, the bulls, the bets are on. Now the question is, who will make it out the pool, baby? Of course, trade the pool, guys. Check it out, guys. And if you guys haven't done so already, of course, Tim runs the Discord with a couple others. Definitely catch it, guys. I think it's definitely something that you guys can. Sometimes I hear questions all the time, and it's a small question, but I can't take away from my trading to answer it. That's the place to be, guys. That's the place that you guys can just converse back and forth, try to work things out. They're there to help you guys right now.
and other
Share your
traders are
trades,
there
yep.
every day.
We've got a
right?
trade chatter that's always open. We've got a voice channel that you can hop in. But we will have, like I said, tomorrow afternoon we've got a scheduled group trading, and this evening we'll be looking again at some pharma balance sheets. So if you want to look at doing some deeper dives to form a trade strategy, tomorrow we'll be joining us and we'll be looking at that.
Great mention here. Eric looked like he had a little bit of an issue trying to get in the Discord. You do got to get through that welcome channel. So it looks like that he struggled to get through that. Reach out to us. We're trying to get you through the welcome channel so that you can get to all. Trust me, there's more than one channel. It's just the welcome channel. It's to get you through, kind of give you guys the guidelines on what we're trying to follow through. Anything that you'd want to tell them, Eric, to try to help you through that welcome channel?
You just need to, if you read the message that's in that channel, it'll tell you what to do to get access. But I'll give you a hint. It's just you react to that message agreeing to the rules, and it should open everything up for you. But
give it a good old check mark. Give it a good old yelling face or something. You guys get after it. We'll see you guys over on the Discord. Catch that every single day. And like always, this show ends, but Discord never ends, guys. So check that out. Like always, guys, get over to that. We'll make sure to throw up a link there in the chat before we get out of here. But have a good one, team. We'll see you back tomorrow. Like always, keep battling out there. There's never one way to win in this market. Today, not a bad day. Made some money on the small ones. We'll look to see what happens if the market breaks down later in the market. I see it already bouncing. You know how things go. Stay safe out there, traders. We'll see you next time.